In 3, 2, and 1. News articles such as police hurt eco-terrorists or violence actions from activists are not effective or police spray pepper spray on those activists. Those are exactly the consequences that those eco-terrorists will face once they do those illegal and violence action. So we'll go straight to responses. First of all, the other side. They mentioned the fact that this is the only way to stop people from harming, and just because something is illegal doesn't necessarily mean it is not right. This is completely outright false because killing is illegal. Does that mean killing people is right? Or like suddenly setting fire to a building or sabotage construction projects? Those are all illegal and violence actions that should not be justified, even though the intention is to save the environment. And we have to mention the fact that this is not the only way to stop people from harming the environment, because nowadays there's a lot of conferences like the COP or a lot of other organizations that can save the environment and bring more awareness to people. And we believe that violence is not in it. And we also like to point out the fact that unlike peaceful environmental activism, eco-terrorism involves crimes like vandalism or arson to make a political statement. So let's take an example of a mom want to teach her kids not to steal from others. So this doesn't mean that she should steal too to show her kids that stealing is actually bad. Instead, there should be actions to bring more awareness to people. And we'll move on to our setup. So for setup, we would like to point out a simple thing, which is what is the motives behind such an action? We believe that the motive here is to raise awareness through shock tactics. Because by intentionally harm the environment and people surrounding them, these regular activists think that their way is different, and by harming the environment, they hope to protect it in return. Because when they actually set fires to buildings that harms the nature, they themselves are harming natures as well, so their actions is not justified. And also, some eco-terrorists, they hold this belief that nature should be protected at all costs, even if it means harming human society. So now we'll go to our arguments. The main argument in this speech is that eco-terrorism involves illegal activities that violate social contracts, and it just make it unacceptable in a society that values things such as law, order, or even a democracy. The mechanism here is that you have to know about the criminal justice system, right? There's this thing called intention, action, and impact. The intention here, we know that those activists want to save the environment, but their action, just because their action is to save the environment and it's illegal, doesn't mean that we should justify for such an action. For example, if I want to stop this cheating, it doesn't mean that I will have to hit the other person because they cheat on an exam. So that's just because an action leads to a specific intention, it does not necessarily mean that we have to justify for such an action. And in democratic societies, they provide legal avenues like protest, like lobbying, and this resorting to violence just to completely suggest that environmentalists do not believe in these systems. And if one group justifies breaking laws for the causes, others can exactly do the same. And this leads to like a breakdown of legal norms, and this will just encourage more extremism in society. And not to mention those activists or those regular activists, they take part in such legal actions can lead them going to jail, which will disrupt their intention in the first place and disrupt their held beliefs in the first place. And at the end of the day, we believe that opposition is the only side who can actually protect the environment by holding other alternatives such as peace solution or normal environmental conferences or some normal environmental movement that has been going on and has creating positive changes to society. So very proud to oppose.